Pitti Uomo is a mere memory now. Nothing left to remember it by but the cigar smell lingering on your brown linen jacket or the Campari stain glaring at you from your cream high-waisted pleated shorts. I wasn't even there. I don't even know I'm talking about that. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another video. In my last video, we went through some of my best menswear looks from Pitti Uomo, and what we're going to do today is go through the 7 style takeaways that we can take away from Pitti Uomo. Now, of course, this is classic menswear. There's not going to be too many drastic or radical changes from this year to last year, but that's the best part about it. What it is more is just the subtle differences, and a lot of it's just menswear choices that we have in rotation. One year it'll be this color, the next year it'll be this color, and then the next year it'll be the color we had before. It's just a big style circle because, again, with classic menswear, we do still have trends. We do still have things that come in and out of fashion, but it's just less frequent and it's not so drastic. So in this video, we're going to go through the 7 things I noticed. But before we do get into it, I just like to ask if you get anything from the video, if you can hit the like and subscribe button. Check out archerandwoods.com for pre-owned menswear and sign up to the Substack, the Guidance, which is the newsletter I send out with curated links to pre-owned items I find from all the brands you probably know and love if you watch this channel. You get some really great deals in there. Links to anything we discuss in these videos and some general ramblings as well. So I'll put a link in the description for that. And a quick fit check for myself. I've just got this Oliver Spencer seersucker shirt on. It might be a little bit wrinkled. I've just had to order a new steamer, so I was planning to give it a bit of steam because I've been setting up the camera and everything, but yeah, it may not look the best. So I've got a new steamer coming hopefully tomorrow. But enough about that. Let's get into these Pitti style takeaways. So firstly, is green the new brown? I think so. If you've been watching me for any amount of time, you know I bang on about brown tailoring all the time. We've seen a huge resurgence of it in the last few years. You know, it's nothing new. It's been going on a long time. Brown has been probably up there with navy and like cream as the main sort of summer suit color that we've been seeing at Pitti, mostly anyway. But this year, we've seen a heavy influx with green, and more specifically like a lighter green, like a sage green, which I've been a huge fan of. So we've seen lovely double-breasted green suits. We saw a matte Rannick with a really nice light green suit with a navy crew neck tee. And from the images I saw, we're just seeing a lot more of that color come through along with brown and along with like a crew and creams as a sort of like top alternate color. So what this really shows to me is like if you've got like a summer wedding going up, of course you guys will probably know if you've been to like a destination wedding, like a cream suit with a white shirt will be the wedding guest suit of choice. It's a solid look. It's something different when you leave a city like London and you go abroad. You want to wear something bright and different. You get the opportunity to do that. So cream has been a big one. Brown has started to come into that a bit more. People have felt a bit more comfortable wearing brown, and by this I mean people that are not necessarily into menswear as a whole. So just like my mates who are into menswear, a lot of the guys will be a bit more comfortable wearing brown. And now I think what we'll see is green take up that mantle as well. I saw that as well with the Natalino suit. This isn't necessarily a lighter green suit, it's a kind of a dark green suit, but definitely when I was in the store and I was choosing between the suits and deciding which one to get, they have this darker green one which is absolutely lovely, and Mitchell from Menswear Musings bought that suit and was wearing it at Pitti and it looked absolutely great. We've also got brands like Percival who do like a light green linen suit, and I just think we're just going to see it more and more in the general wider world with guys being more comfortable to wear like a different colour suit than cream, navy or grey. Next up, a utilitarian style. So what we're talking about is like a safari jacket or a safari shirt, jungle jackets, trawl jackets. Personally, I never really care too much about the naming of them. I know some people can get right into the nerdy details about what is what. Doesn't bother me at all. And when you look at brands who name their items, I mean, they're all over the place. Some places will be like, this is an overshirt. Some people will say it was a trawl jacket. Some people say a safari jacket, jungle jacket. To be honest, it doesn't really matter. Call it what you want. I normally stick to trawl jackets just being like the ones that are like this, and safari jackets just being ones that pockets that's there and they look a bit more safari. Sometimes I'll say jungle if I'm feeling a little bit fun. It really doesn't matter to me much, but I just really like the look, especially what we were seeing at Pitti. Just shirts in general, wearing them straight on skin. Matt Rannick was the guy who got me onto this years ago, just wearing like a linen trawl jacket, I think it was at the time I noticed, but you know, safari jackets as well, just without anything underneath, because they're quite lightweight and they're quite easy to wear. A lot of them are quite rugged as well, so that you can wash them a lot. And even the more delicate ones, they patina quite nicely, like the linen ones. They're just fun things to have, I feel, and I think they look absolutely great. So definitely saw more of them at Pitti, but ultimately more of just like the shirts or just short sleeve versions on skin, and in a way that was done slightly formal. So like when you go into like a casual sort of like cocktail party, like a pool party, especially in a hot country, a lot of guys don't want to wear suits. They don't want to wear a jacket. They want to wear a shirt. So I think one of these shirts is a nice sort of, it has a bit of a formality about it, even though it's not a formal item at all. I think we've manifested this into reality. I think something like Matt Heranic has manifested this into a reality where we can wear stuff like this with a pair of high-waisted trousers and some loafers, and it crosses a sort of smart casual line, even though the item itself is very workwear and I would not say it's smart casual. But then it does have a collar and lots of pockets, and it comes from a military sort of background. So maybe I'm overthinking it, but it doesn't really matter. Personally, I absolutely love the look. So the next thing I noticed was the lack of bright fluorescent colours. And when I say like bright colours, I don't mean like light tones like a white or a crew, or maybe even like a light pink or something like that. What I mean is like, I'm more to the more fluorescent sort of tones, the more unnatural sort of tones. I always want a better word to say. I know I say this every time. I always want a better word to say than unnatural, but just like something quite man-made rather than like an earthy tone, or as I say, something you'd find in nature. So we've definitely seen a lot less of this. For you guys that have been watching Pitti from afar like myself all these years, you'd have noticed the Pitti peacocks in the past, and they were the real focus, especially in the earlier days that I was sort of watching, like, you know, the 2010s, that sort of era. Like if you were to go back to like GQ and their YouTube channel around that time, it's full of like Pitti peacock sort of content. And I don't know, because obviously I wasn't there, if the sort of menswear that I showed you in the last video and the menswear I like, if that was a thing, or if this is a new sort of like evolution of menswear crowd that are out there dressing in a way that just I prefer. I'm not going to say I prefer. I'm not going to say what's good or bad. It's not for me to judge, but just the way that I prefer. So a big part of that is the lack of fluorescent colours and overly strong, overpowering patterns sometimes as well. And don't get me wrong, there's lots of patterns, but they're done in a much more tasteful way. So ditching all these bright, strong colours that are quite jarring in my opinion, to more natural tones that go with the surroundings of Florence and like a European city, and also with materials like linen, and look more worn in, and just like it doesn't look too try hard essentially at the end of the day. Again, we did see strong patterns and people wearing multiple colors at once, but one of the examples I used for this in the last video was Takahiro Ozaka of Liverano and Liverano, who was wearing this really gorgeous suit and this really interesting tie which had lots of colors in it, but they were relatively muted tones. And the way that the suit was, I can't remember if it was a grey or a brown suit, but the material, the colour choices of the rest of the outfit, I know probably you could even say like the silhouette of the suit, the way it was cut, made sure that the tie didn't distract from the rest of the outfit and didn't make it too much like a centerpiece, too glaringly obvious, or too glaringly sort of jarring. And you could look at him and whilst the tie would stand out, it doesn't stand out too much essentially. It doesn't take attention away from the rest of the outfit. And that's what I was sort of seeing with the majority of the pictures and images we're seeing. Again, we spoke before about how brown, green and crews are like the main colours, and we're seeing lots of that, just with subtle little other nice colours put in there. It makes everyone look individual. It looks fresh and still vibrant, but in like a nonchalant way, is the best way I can probably put it. But the next thing I noticed was that the majority of guys there were embracing a more fuller cut when it comes to a suit. So this can be slightly bigger shoulders, a bit more of a roomier cut when it comes to the body, higher waist with pleats, and a wider leg, and sometimes with a break as well. So a lot more of a fuller classic cut, which I really liked, and something I've been getting into a little bit more myself. For me personally, I don't like to have one style of suit. I know there's a lot of guys that find what they like and they really stick with it. I like to have the full sort of gamut, from like an Anglo-Italian sort of soft and structured suit like Natalino as well, to more like a husband's Paris suit, which is a lot more structured to it. So having a bit more of a fuller cut is a bit more new to me when it comes to tailoring. I have to be quite careful because I'm not the tallest guy in the world. My shoulders are quite broad, as are my thighs as well. So I have to be quite careful with the ones I do go for. But it's definitely something I'll be looking to sort of experiment and add to my wardrobe more in future. And a lot more brands are doing this also. So before you could say like an Anthology would do a suit in that kind of style, but you know, they come at a price and they're fantastic suits. But now we're seeing like a Buck Mason with that travel suit I mentioned in a previous video. You could see from the silhouette of it, a lot more fuller cut, wider legged, and it definitely felt a bit more in line with what we're seeing at Pitti as well. The next thing we noticed was that simplicity rules, and this was quite a big one for me because I'm personally a fan of this approach. So a lot of the outfits we were seeing was just a simple suit paired with like a crew neck t-shirt or a shirt. or just like we've seen before, like with this sort of like linen shirt over the top. And that was, for the majority, it was certainly the best outfits I saw, but it seemed to be like the majority as a whole. So I know that it's summer, so we're not going to see too much layering, but it just struck me that it was just the simple choices of the individual items that was the thing that people were using to express themselves, rather than adding something extra, adding something over the top to try and stand out. So like we were saying before, the color palette choices, just the subtle differences in tones, or there was a material choice that was a subtle difference. If you were seeing any accessories, it would just be like possibly a little scarf. Very few watches we saw. I think I saw 1 or 2 sort of wrist straps. A really cool one with a Cartier tank, so like a subtle watch in general. A few belts, not too many belts. So in general, everything was quite simple. People relied on the silhouette of their clothes, the materials and the color palettes, and for me, that's the best way to do it. If you do make the most out of those sort of items, then that goes a long way. Also, for someone like myself, and probably for a lot of you guys who are watching, who are trying to get inspiration on what to wear, it's the best, because that's very wearable stuff that you can replicate with other brands' items, or just stuff that you have in your own wardrobe. So I absolutely love that personally. So for our next thing, sandals are still cool, but are they on the down? I think so as well. So if you were to look back at this video last year, and possibly the year before, I'm pretty sure I did one the year before, sandals were like an invasive species. And this is talking from someone who likes them. I like the way they look. I don't wear them myself really. And I'm talking about like fisherman sandals with like shorts or tailoring. And as I say, I do like the look, but it's just not something I really jumped on. And I remember saying at the time, maybe last year, that I was going to hold off because I wanted to see how things landed. And we definitely saw some this time around, but what we were seeing more of was loafers, a lot of like horsebit loafers, a lot more sort of like Belgian loafers and slippers. But for me, from what I saw at least, was a lot less sandals. And I'm always going to be leaning more that way, because I just feel like loafers are the best shoe ever made. I think they're the best, most iconic piece of footwear you can possibly buy. They straddle from casual to formal. You can wear them with almost anything. So I'm a huge loafer fan, so I'm quite biased. But we are seeing a lot less sandals in my opinion, and why I do like that is just because that just means people are just being a bit more sparing with how they use them. So they're a choice of shoe rather than a statement piece, where I think when everyone was wearing them out last year, it was just a bit much, and it was almost too obvious that everyone was wearing them because they were the thing to wear. So now they've just amalgamated into the pantheon of shoe choices. I don't know what that means. They are just among the shoes. And that's a good thing in my opinion. So for the final thing we learned is that if you are someone that occasionally goes to a black tie event or has a black tie event coming up, you should 100% be looking at Pitti for some inspiration. Save the images to a Pinterest board, because when these events come around and you want something a little bit different, or you want to know what size lapel to wear, or what sort of shape of a bow tie or size of a bow tie to wear, or cummerbund, you'll have something there to fall back on and look at and try to replicate. So for me at Pitti, there's so many great images of people in evening wear, black tie, and something a bit more adventurous. You've got Manish Puri, who wear a fantastic, I think it was like a mauve jacket, but it looked quite understated as well. And I think he wore it with a t-shirt later on. I could be completely wrong, but it looked great. And it was something different, but it's still quite classy and unstated still, so it wasn't that crazy and out there. But there is also a lot of regular sort of black sort of tuxedo sort of style stuff going on there, and I think it goes unnoticed because of the other stuff that people are wearing. Like I will try to, on my Instagram, where I post like outfit inspiration daily, follow me at Mr. Luke Hodges if you aren't already. I do sort of sneak those in there because some are really just cool, but I do feel like unless it's like a special post, people don't tend to want to see that every day, because you don't wear black. Most people don't go to sort of like black tie events every day. So if you are in future going to a black tie event or anything like that, check out the Pitti images from not just this year, from previous years. Type in black tie, dinner jacket, tuxedo, anything like that, and then a lot of great inspiration will come up for sure. So they were my 7 lessons that I learned from this year's Pitti. Let me know in the comments below if there's anything you noticed at all. Remember to check out archeryandwoods.com and sign up to the Substack. The guidance links in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.